Thank you very much for joining us once again for this edition of Computer Insider. I wanted to bring you an update on XBMC, the Xbox Media Center. We initially did a piece on this software a couple of months ago when we talked about its impact on the marketplace. Since we initially started using the package, we've made several changes to the system with some very positive results. First, when we started, we were using an old computer connected to the digital television via the VGA video port. To connect the sound, we were using the audio output from the computer and plugging it into one of the analog inputs on the home theater amplifier. I can only describe this combination as delivering an adequate picture and sound quality. Given that we're still in the testing stages of the software to see if we really would enjoy the system or not, we ultimately decided to take the steps to permanently include the system in our home theater and upgrade the quality of both the audio and the video. Our first upgrade was to install a digital sound card to the computer so we could use the digital outputs and connect them to the digital input on the amplifier so we could enjoy the 5.1 surround sound. We had some real issues in getting this to work, mostly in activating the digital port on the computer. Another problem we ran into with this configuration was that our home theater was set up using our Denon amplifier to switch the audio and video sources through an HDMI connection. The problem here was that every time we wanted to use the computer, the VGA input to the television, we had to use the TV remote to select the VGA input on the television and then switch the amplifier to listening to the analog source from the computer. Way too many buttons for the less technical members of the family to press to move back and forth between the two sources. Just before Christmas, we found a sale on video cards where we were able to buy a video card with an HDMI output for about $20 Canadian. We installed this card onto the computer and connected it to the Denon amplifier by the HDMI cable. And lo and behold, we had great video quality equivalent to anything we were getting off of our Blu-ray DVD player or from our digital cable box. The switching over from the video port to the computer and the HDMI in the home theater has greatly enhanced our ability to enjoy the Xbox Media Center. Now anybody in the family can simply select the appropriate source by pushing one button. That would connect the amplifier to whatever source we wanted to watch, and you could move back and forth quite easily. As a result of these changes, we're now watching about 80% of our television from the Xbox Media Center and only about 20% from the cable TV box. We'll be completely off the cable TV, except for the fact that our local news is not fully available on the internet. There is an add-on for Xbox Media Center which carries the local news, but it only carries the news portions and none of the feature segments bundled into the newscast. Both my wife and I really enjoy the consumer report and health reports as well as their local weather, so we find it to be better to watch the news from the cable TV source rather than off of the internet. Another thing that we found using XBMC more regularly is that the movies available are simply phenomenal. Before we get into the detail on the movies that we've been finding, I'd like to point out to you that there's a lot of, well, let's call them useless add-on modules, which we initially installed, which we decided to delete from the menuing system. We pretty much limit ourselves to 3 add-ons. That would be Mashup, Canada On Demand, and NaviX, which is located under the programming category. In terms of using the Mashup add-on under the category of new, we're finding movies are actually available even before they're released into the movie theaters. And I'm not talking just about camera copies here, but DVD rips and screeners which deliver excellent quality. I'm not sure what the legalities of all this are, but one thing is for certain, we're seeing a lot of movies a lot sooner than we would otherwise have access to them, either from the peer-to-peer networks or from DVD rental stores. Another little fact that you have to pay attention to in terms of the growth of XBMC is the number of installs of the software that have happened so far. Google is reporting that there are about 5 million installs on the Android platform alone. It's hard to determine exactly how many people are using the software, but my best guess would be that it will be on a level equivalent to the customer base of DirecTV or any one of the Canadian cable companies. Another little spin-off that we discovered in our use of the Xbox Media Center was that it's a far better platform for viewing your own videos or pictures on, as well as listening to music. This has resulted in us in pretty much retiring our Western digital media player and transferring all of our media files onto the computer that is connected to our home theater. Even in terms of looking at pictures sent to us by other family members, we find it far easier and better to watch them on our home theater rather than going to somebody's PC and leaning over the other person's shoulder to see the screen. As far as music goes, it has a solid player built into it, and the software, of course, is of superior quality, and once connected to the HDMI hookup from the computer, we have an excellent sound. We'll keep you posted on this and other odd things that we bump into while using this software right here on Computer Insider.